thank you all for being here. I am Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works. There's never been a more important time to come out and show our support and protection of Social Security. I've been working on Social Security for 50 years, and I was mentored by three men who started working on Social Security in the 1930s. And I can tell you, it's gone through wars, pandemic. It has never seen a threat like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Frank Bisignano, the nominee to be commissioner. They are decimating Social Security. They've stolen our data. There has never been a more important time to speak up. Thankfully, we have real champions in the Senate and the House. And I'm happy to introduce should be the chair of the Finance Committee, and we hope after 2026 will be the chair, Senator Wyden from Oregon, who's been a champion starting before he was even in the Senate as a member of the Gray Panthers. So thank you for your service. We're interested to hear what you have to tell us.
Thank you, Nancy. And what you should know is that political change doesn't necessarily start in a government building. It starts at the grassroots. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're doing a great job. So we are mobilizing everywhere to stop the Trump administration from dismantling Social Security, and we are here to oppose Frank Bisignano from being the next Social Security Commissioner. He is the wrong man for Social Security because he is shortchanging, for example, the need for phone services at Social Security for the vulnerable. He is wrong to be catering to Doge as they sneak and stealth around trying to scoop up our precious data. And we believe he is wrong because his statement and actions are a prelude to privatizing Social Security, and we all are here to say no, 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 to privatizing Social Security. He's also wrong because he's making it clear that he will stall on making sure that senior rights are a top priority, and he ducked all those questions at the hearing. The fact is, we want Donald Trump to step up and take on the Doge group and make sure that he stops the cutbacks, the field offices, the closures, and stops the reductions in phone service. We want Donald Trump to stand with working families and seniors and stop the attack on Social Security once and for all. Yeah. And make no mistake about it, these wonderful folks who are working at the grassroots to mobilize working families and seniors against Bisignano and against Donald Trump, we are going to stay at it day in and day out until Social Security is finally safe and is no longer on the chopping block in America. God bless.
And I have the privilege now of introducing another champion, this in the House of Representatives. He, again, I hope after 2026 will be chair of the Social Security Subcommittee of the Ways and Means Committee. He has been a leader in not just protecting Social Security, but pushing to expand it. And he's also been a leader in protecting Social Security against the threat that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Frank Bisignano pose. So it is my pleasure to introduce Representative John Larson of the great state of Connecticut.
Well, thank you, Nancy. How about Ron Wyden? What a great job, huh? Are you fired up and ready to go? Yeah! All right. Can you imagine this? An administration not understanding that there are over 70 million Americans who rely on Social Security. For more than 40% of them, It's the only benefit that they have. For 5 million of our fellow Americans, 5 million, they get below poverty level checks from the wealthiest nation in the world and the most incredible insurance program in our history. It's time this ends. We not only have to stop Social Security being cut, we have to expand it for the first time in more than 50 years. The last time Social Security's COLA was affected in an effective manner was 1971. Richard Nixon was president of the United States. We're far beyond that. Thank God that the senators here, and I just saw Chris Van Hollen come in, are standing and fighting every single day to make sure that this doesn't happen and drive the message home to the American people just how important this is to every single family in the United States of America. It's an honor to be here this afternoon and stand with Nancy Altman and Social Security Works and the job that they have been doing for decades to make sure that the greatest insurance program in the history of the country remains strong and vibrant and helping out the very people that Franklin Delano Roosevelt intended it to. Thank you and God bless.
Well, as I said, as concerned as I am by Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Frank Bisignano, I'm heartened by the champions we have standing to protect our Social Security, our earned Social Security. We have another champion I'm about to introduce who was instrumental in setting up, understanding the danger, and setting up a war room, which is just what we need. We all need to be fighting for Social Security. It is my great pleasure to introduce Senator Elizabeth Warren of the great state of Massachusetts.
Thank you. I'm Elizabeth Warren, and I'm here to fight for Social Security. We're here today because Donald Trump and his unelected billionaire co-president, Elon Musk, are trying to take a chainsaw to Social Security. And what does that mean? It means that two people who don't have the slightest clue what it means to live on Social Security are the ones who are trying to cut it so that they can produce more tax breaks for a handful of billionaires. Yeah. Well, I've got a message for Donald Trump, for Elon Musk, and for Frank Bisignano, who is the guy who's going to carry out their plans. And that message is, get your hands off our Social Security. Social Security is not charity. It is something people pay into all of their lives. Social Security is something that Americans have earned, and when it comes time to collect, they are getting their own money. It is more than a retirement program. It is also an insurance program. If you're 30 years old and you have an accident and become disabled, Social Security has your back. If something happens to you and you have a child, Social Security is there for your child. Donald Trump and Elon Musk want to rip all of that away. For nearly a century, Social Security has been there for tens of millions of Americans. But Trump and Musk are threatening to tear all of that down. They are firing staff, they are plotting to close offices, and they are making it harder to get the help that people need over the phone. So what does that mean for Grandma when she needs help and has an issue with her regular Social Security check? The answer from Musk and Trump is, too bad. Or maybe she's missing a check altogether. Well, that's just another one of Doge's mistakes. And as the billionaires will tell you, people can just wait until next month or the next month or the next month, and it probably will get straightened out. No wonder a couple of billionaires have no idea what it is like for the people who actually count on those Social Security checks every month. Now, tomorrow we're going to vote on Trump's pick to head up Social Security. And let's just be blunt. This is someone who will rubber stamp everything that Elon Musk and Donald Trump want to do to undercut Social Security, slashing benefits and services and threatening people's access to the very money that they spent their entire work lives earning. Well, I know how I will be voting. I will be voting in favor of every American who counts on Social Security. I am a hard no on Frank Bisignano. No way. I am not in favor of handing over the keys to our Social Security Administration to a man who says that he will do whatever Donald Trump wants, whatever Elon Musk wants, no matter how much it's there just to help the billionaires and to take away from those who have paid into the Social Security system for years. And I am not alone in this. Senate Democrats are fighting back. We are fighting for every senior. We are fighting for every parent of a kid with disability who's supported by Social Security. We are fighting for every person who is paying into the program and wants to count on that program to be there for them when they need it. This tonight is all about everyone getting into the fight and saying to Donald Trump and Elon Musk, loud and clear, get your hands off our Social Security. In the fight between billionaires and American families, I know which side I'm on, I know which side Democrats are on, and I know which side everybody here tonight is on, and that is we stand with people and not with the billionaires. That's why we're here. Thank you all.
So the vote is tomorrow. Anyone who supports Social Security must vote no. Frank Bisignano is a private citizen, has been all over Social Security. He's part of Doge. Thankfully, we have a leader in the Senate who is a true champion of all of our earned benefits. It is my great pleasure to introduce Leader Schumer.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's great to see my colleagues here, Senator Wyden, Senator Van Hollen. We just heard from Senator Warren, and of course Martin O'Malley, our most recent Senate-confirmed commissioner of the Social Security Administration. And let me talk about that for a minute. I knew Frank Bisignano when he was in New York. He was known then, as he should be known now, as Mr. Slash and Burn. When a company wanted to just fire people mercilessly, they wanted to squeeze to death that anything that went on there, they hired Bisignano. He was Mr. Slash and Burn. So can you imagine putting this man, who has no experience with Social Security, but who has experience in cutting the daylights of any organization that he becomes part of, being the commissioner? Shame, 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 shame. And the bottom line is here that Bisignano would be like putting, a fox in the hen house. The Republicans have found many ways. They know how popular Social Security is. And so they don't say they're going to kill it. They want to strangle it. That's what they want to do. It's death by another means. And they want to strangle it by closing offices, by cutting employees, by making sure the phone lines don't get answered, to making sure the emails are shut off, and worst of all, by putting a guy like Bisignano in charge. It is just a disgrace. And we are going to do everything. This is the Social Security until recently was sort of it was the crowning achievement of government across the board, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. The bottom line is that everyone loved Social Security. It was one of the hallmarks of one of the greatest things that government can ever do. And the fact that they're trying to attack it. You know, George Bush tried in 2005, and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid and I and a group of others fought back, and we won. We're going to fight back this time, and we are going to win. Social Security is sacred. How about Elon Musk, Mr. Doge, saying that it's a Ponzi scheme? Tell that to the person who needs that $1,100 check each month to pay for their food or their prescription drugs that might save their lives. And how about Howard Lutnick? Howard Lutnick says, well, my mother-in-law wouldn't miss a check. Well, I went to a big Social Security rally. I said, how many of you have billionaire son-in-laws who would make sure you're okay if you didn't miss a check? These billionaires are in their own bubble. They don't give a hoot or something else. They don't give a hoot about people who struggle, people who need Social Security to just live. All they care about is cutting taxes for themselves and their billionaire buddies. There's nothing more disgraceful than cutting Social Security to give taxes to the billionaire buddies. So we're going to fight it in every way that we can, and we are going to win. So thank you for being here. Thank you, AFT and Social Security Works, for putting this together. We're with you all the way. We are winning.
And we have another champion, another leader in the Senate who is fighting as hard as he can to protect Social Security. I am thrilled that he is my senator. In fact, we met about Social Security before he was elected, when he was running. That's how concerned and determined he is to not just protect Social Security, but to expand it. And it is my great pleasure to introduce Senator Van Hollen from the great state of Maryland.
Thank you, Nancy, and thank all of you for being here. You know, we've gathered in Baltimore in front of the Social Security Administration. We've gathered on the Senate floor. We've gathered in communities all over the country, and now we're gathered here today to say, keep your hands off of our Social Security. And that does mean, and if you want to do that, you have to vote a big no on Frank Bisignano. So what we've witnessed, of course, is the most corrupt bargain in American history. Right? Elon Musk contributed $260 million to help elect Donald Trump, and Donald Trump turned around and gave Elon Musk the keys to the federal government. This had nothing to do with government efficiency. This had to do with cutting services that are important to every American in order to rig the government for people like Elon Musk and the billionaires. And in addition to that, they do say that they want to use the savings. They want to use the savings from closing Social Security offices. They want to use the savings from reducing services to Social Security. They want to use that to finance tax cuts for billionaires. Are we going to let them do that? No. Hell no. I want to thank Ron Wyden, who's doing a great job on the Finance Committee, to Nancy Altman of Social Security Works, and all of you who are part of this gathering, and to Martin O'Malley, my friend who was the most recent head of Social Security Commissioner, and who always makes clear that Social Security has never missed a check. The earned benefits that people have worked their lives for, they deliver. So when people like Howard Lutnick say, you know what? My mother, as others said, wouldn't miss this, and only the people who are committing fraud would miss this. this guy obviously hasn't talked to people throughout the country, because everybody recognizes that that Social Security payment, for some, it's the difference between being in poverty and not, and for others, it's a substantial part of what it takes to carry on a decent standard of living. So what we see in Frank Bisignano is somebody who is a Doge crony, right? Because this is somebody who essentially said he's one of those Doge groupies. He likes what Elon Musk is doing. In fact, he was very instrumental in making sure that Michael Russo, who was like the Doge hitman at Social Security, got that portfolio. And as we speak, as you know, while they've been trying to also access very sensitive, important, personal, confidential information for Doge, and the courts have said, no, you can't get access to it, but I think it was just last Friday, they appealed it to the court, a higher court. So what we're facing right now is an effort to raid important information that belongs to the American people as individuals for Doge, and what we're witnessing is their effort to shut down these offices, get rid of people, turn off the phones. I want to end with this. Because of the voices of so many Americans, they've had to back off some of those measures. But we need to say loud and clear that we will not rest until we make sure that Social Security is not only safe, but as John Larson said, we need to strengthen Social Security. Thank all of you for being here as part of that effort.
And make no mistake that Frank Bisignano is a private citizen, but he has been all over the Social Security Administration since January 20th. He is behind all of this. If people think things are going to get better with him, they will get worse. And we've really got the senators that have spoken to you, in particular Senator Wyden, who was able to call out the lies he was telling the Senate Finance Committee. That should have stopped the nomination. But thank you, Senator Wyden, for calling out and reminding all of us who this person is and what this administration represents. Now, another champion we have also, along with Senator Van Hollen, was my governor, and was the most recent commissioner. And don't believe the lies. The Republicans will say, oh, yeah, I know, there are long wait times, there are backlogs, but that's been true forever. Don't blame that on us. No. Commissioner O'Malley brought those way down, and it was this administration that has literally hollowed out the agency, lost virtually 1,000 years of expertise in forcing people out the door, that is causing huge backlogs, wait times, and inability, essentially cutting our benefits. So it's my great pleasure to introduce former Commissioner O'Malley.
I want to thank all of the senators who have been stepping up to defend Social Security. That's what this is about. There is no act of compassion and caring for one another more powerful, more far-reaching, more efficient, and more dependable than Social Security, and we say, hands off Social Security. So I want to thank Senator Van Hollen, Leader Schumer, John Larson, and I especially want to thank Chairman Wyden for calling this like it is. What's happened here and I was a commissioner who enjoyed bipartisan support. I was a commissioner who had the honor to lead this agency when House Republicans had already reduced them to a 50-year low in staffing, while baby boomers like me increased their customer base to an all-time high. And I was hopeful that maybe, just maybe, we might have a nominee who would build upon that success. But no. Instead, what we've seen is a slash and burn, at the exiting, driving out 7,000 and soon 10,000 employees, workers, the people that provide customer service at Social Security. What we've seen Elon Musk and Donald Trump do is, with their eyes, you know, Social Security is the only agency that runs a surplus. In fact, that surplus reserve is about $2.6 trillion. They have their eyes on that, but they know Congress would never allow them to take that money without a fight unless they turned enough of the public against Social Security. So how do they do that? By wrecking its reputation with big lies. Big lies like illegal immigrants get benefits. They don't. They're prohibited. Big lies like there's a zombie apocalypse. There's no zombie apocalypse. Dead people do not get Social Security benefits. Big lies like it's a Ponzi scheme. Poppycock. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin might be, but not Social Security. Social Security's never missed a payment in 90 years. And Social Security is the most efficient insurance program in the entire world. Social Security's overhead has now been driven down to less than 1%. If you compare that to Allstate's 19%. Liberty Mutual is 23%. So give us a break. We have to put the brakes on Elon Musk and Donald Trump trying to wreck its reputation and wreck its customer service so then they can rob it. Too many Americans depend on it. They've earned it. And one of them that's going to speak to you right now is here up front, and that is...
Let me interrupt because Senator Wyden
Okay.
graciously said he will answer questions.
Awesome. Senator Wyden is going to come up and answer any questions from the press. Senator Wyden, come on down, and then we're going to hear from Pam Parker, I promise you. Okay.
And in the language of the Senate, momentarily I will be glad to yield to the gentlelady.
Sure.
I just want to do a little FYI. The big vote, and the reason why we're here tonight, looks like it's going to be at 2:15 tomorrow. And we're going to be going through the issues that we're talking about. And unfortunately, this is a nominee who did not tell the truth to the Senate Finance Committee. And in particular, the majority has responded by saying that our whistleblower, because we had a very credible whistleblower, could have told the country and the committee what was really going on. And they said the only reason they'd listen to the commissioner would be to tell the nominee what's going on. That flunks whistleblowing 101. So what we're going to be doing is making sure that tomorrow we get the highest possible vote that we can for making sure seniors get a fair shake at Social Security, the kind of shake that Martin gave them when he had the job. As of now, this is a guy who not only won't give them a fair shake, but won't tell the truth to the country and the Congress. So tomorrow, 2:15, watch what the Senate does, because this is a vote that counts for this person and everybody here today, because what we're talking about is the most important program in America. It's there for seniors. It's there for working families. We're going to stay at it to make sure that it always stays there. Count on it.
Thank
A vote for Bisignano is a vote against our Social Security benefits. It is so important. So now, I get the pleasure to introduce Pam Parker, who was an electrician. She's a Social Security beneficiary and a member of the Maryland Alliance for Retired Americans. She represents millions across this country. So let's give her a good hand. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys can hear me. My name is Pam Parker. I'm a member of the Alliance for Retired Americans. I'm 63 years old, and I live in Bethesda, Maryland, but I grew up, born and raised in Washington, D.C. For many years, I worked as an electrician, helping to wire the Holocaust Museum, the Pentagon, a lot of big federal buildings because I filled 2 quotas. I'll let you figure out what 2 they are. I then began working as a researcher after my health slowed down. But in 2014, I could no longer work due to my kidneys failing. I'm grateful that several years ago on Mother's Day I received a kidney transplant that saved my life, but my health is still very fragile. I'm one of 73 million Americans who rely on Social Security. For me, it's my only income. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And I know I speak for millions of others who are alarmed and deeply concerned about what Trump has allowed Elon Musk to do to Social Security. Musk and his hand-picked team have demanded access to our most sensitive health and financial data. The Social Security Administration has my entire financial and medical history. I never worried about that. I trusted the career of public servants to keep my information safe until now. The administration has forced out thousands of experienced public servants. They are consolidating and closing field offices, making it harder and harder to get someone on the phone to help with your benefits. And they have spread lies about Social Security to undermine the American people's confidence and in the system. Let me be clear, this isn't about efficiency. This isn't about preventing fraud. This is about making it harder for seniors and people with disabilities to access the benefits they've earned. These moves are forcing Americans to endure longer wait times, travel greater distances, and navigate unnecessary obstacles just to receive their benefits. And they are scaring seniors who are frightened that their benefits may not be paid or that their personal, financial, and health data will fall into the wrong hands. This is nothing less than a calculated, cruel plan to weaken Social Security. Trump repeatedly promised not to touch Social Security, yet here we are. Tomorrow the Senate will take a critical vote. Will they vote to confirm a commissioner who calls himself a Doge guy? Or will they say no and tell the president to nominate someone who will protect our field offices, safeguard our data, and put the needs of American people first? Social Security is our money.
Yeah. It's our money. Our money.
Earned through a lifetime of work. We deserve a commissioner who understands that. Older Americans are watching what these senators do. We're counting on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam, so much for those remarks. And to recognize that when we talk about 73 million people or 100 who are beneficiaries or 160 million contributors, that you can get lost in the numbers. But every one of those numbers is a person like Pam who's earned those benefits, and we are all fighting to protect not just our earned benefits, but the earned benefits of our children and grandchildren. So next, let me introduce another beneficiary, Chuck Donaldson, an AFSCME retiree. So thank you for your service, and we're excited to hear your comments.
You okay? Okay. I want to thank everyone for allowing me to speak here today. I've heard a lot of good things. I have some of the similar things to say. But I've been retired from the city of Philadelphia for 17 years. I've been getting Social Security for 14 years. Me and my wife depended on Social Security. However, that program is kind of under attack, so I'm here today to share some of my things. For almost decades, I served Philadelphia families as a recreation leader. My work shaped the lives of many of Philadelphia kids, often in underserved neighborhoods. With the changes Elon Musk and his lackeys are trying to force through for the first time since its creation, Americans' Social Security benefits are in serious danger, and for no good reason. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are using Frank Bisignano, using plausible deniability for Frank Bisignano. He is doing their dirty work because he's a millionaire like he is. So seniors are afraid and insecure about Social Security being cut, while billionaires are making more money. Anti-work politicians want us to pay for their tax breaks with what little money we have. Congress needs to do their job. I'm from Philadelphia, where the founders created a system of checks and balances. Right now, Congress doesn't care that Elon and this administration, while they try to hollow out the Social Security Administration and their nominees to be Social Security Commissioner, is Frank Bisignano. And I'm not speaking about the politicians that spoke here today. Of course not. Most retirees are living on a couple $100s a month. For some politicians, that's just money to spend on a nice lunch. What we're asking for is extravagant, is basic morality. I'd like politicians who want to cut Social Security to think about what they're doing, not just the bottom line. Have some compassion for seniors. A country is judged by how it treats its young and its old. The cuts to Social Security affect everyone. We all need to be in this fight to defend it. This is not a thing about entitlements, Ponzi schemes, or any of that. It's just plain sense to have a program that is successful and needed all over this country for hardworking Americans to use. And let me say one more thing. I've worked with my union for years and years, and the retirees work very hard. They work very hard for Social Security and other benefits. And they're out in the front every day. I know it. I'm with them every day. So please, please, in this vote tomorrow, make sure you do the right thing. Do not make a mistake. Do the right thing, as everyone has said. Thank you.
Chuck, thank you so much. He's really reminded us of something very important, many very important items. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk have already cut our Social Security because an essential benefit of Social Security is in its name, a sense of security, peace of mind. And they are robbing that by robbing our data and doing everything in the dark so we don't know that our benefits are safe. That is outrageous, and we must stop it, and we've got to stop this nomination. So let me add another Social Security beneficiary, call up Brenda Marks, who's a member of the Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers, AFT. So thank you for your dedication as a teacher, and thank you for speaking here today.
Hi, my name is Brenda Marks, and I am a registered behavior technician from the city of Pittsburgh, and I don't want to perpetrate. I have not retired yet. I am 69 years old, and I've been putting off retirement for several years, mostly because I love what I do. But I'm here today for all of the many, many people I've worked with who have retired. The custodians in my school who've gone well beyond what was required for them to do at work, for the social workers who worked tirelessly to keep our kids safe, to the music teacher who gave kids a reason to come to school. All of those people deserve to have a decent life after work. You know, I haven't retired. I have delayed retirement because growing up, I wanted to be a revolutionary, and then I discovered helping kids and having a positive effect on children was the most revolutionary thing I could do. To teach them to feel good about themselves, to teach them to think for themselves, to have a positive attitude about themselves and their community. And yes, that they can be a positive force within this world. But now I'm almost at the end of my tenure. I'm almost 70 years old, and it's about time. But now at this time, after working since I was 18 to pay into some kind of job that paid into Social Security, we have this. The Department of Government by Elon wants to blow up a system that millions of workers, Americans have relied on for decades. The Social Security Act was signed into law in 1935. For nearly 90 years, this country made a promise to workers, working people, that if they worked hard all their lives and paid into Social Security at the end of their working life, they would be paid back. Not given a handout, but paid back. Now we are standing near the steps of the Capitol asking for the senators to keep that promise. We are asking the senators to vote against Frank Bisignano to serve as Social Security Administration Commissioner. I find it hard to believe that the Trump administration even knows what efficiency is. You know, simply put, efficiency is competence in performance. Defunding our government agencies isn't competent, nor is it efficient. So I'm asking the senators, for the over 70 million workers relying on Social Security, keep that promise. For those like myself who are about to retire and feeling nervous about what the future might hold, keep that promise. Thank you.
Teachers definitely teach. So thank you for that. And we have another teacher, Marietta English, is also a Social Security beneficiary and a member of the Baltimore Teachers Union of AFT. So let me call Marietta.
That's right, we don't. Good evening. Good evening. And thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank the senators who were here, and I would like to thank Martin O'Malley, who was my governor at one time. So I thank him for being here and being in support of Social Security. I am 78 years old. I've been retired since 2019, and I have paid into Social Security since I was 14. So do the math. This is not an entitlement to me. This is money that I earned and put away that I expected to receive someday when I retire. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going all in to eliminate Social Security, but we must fight back. Social Security is critical for seniors for several reasons. It provides a reliable source of income, which is important for those who may no longer have a steady paycheck from employment. It helps prevent poverty among older adults. Many seniors rely heavily on Social Security for basic income and needs such as housing, food, and health care. And I know several people, this is the only income that they have. So if it is eliminated, they won't have any means by which to support themselves for food, housing, or health care. For many seniors, Social Security is a safety net, making sure that they have an income. It plays a vital role in ensuring financial stability and a good quality of life for seniors, helping navigate the challenges of retirement. We must fight back right now because if we don't, millions of hard-working people could lose out on all of their benefits. We cannot let these billionaires take our money. We cannot let them do this. Right. This is the hands off our money. Hands up. Hi there, my friends. Yes. And so I have said how important Social Security is to seniors. We must fight back because we have the power. We must fight back because when we fight, what do? We win. Thank you.
We have a woman who just flew into Chicago. Boy, are her arms tired. She is a great national leader of the labor movement. People who work hard all their lives, earn their Social Security benefits. Please welcome Randy Weingarten from AFT.
And can we say thank you again, I'm sure it's been said, to Martin O'Malley, Governor O'Malley, who did everything he could to make sure that Social Security was timely, was out there, that people could get their questions answered. That is what the government should be doing. Thank you, Martin O'Malley. And the person who is being nominated to replace Governor O'Malley is the exact opposite. The exact opposite. What did you say? So I'm glad I rushed here from Chicago, where I was at another event today, to basically be with all of you, particularly all of you, to say we will never give in. Social Security is one of the most important, if not the most important, social covenant that this country has done with its people. It essentially says that after you work hard for your life, and remember, Social Security is an earned benefit. Each and every one of us, or most of us, actually have a tax, are taxed a certain percent each and every paycheck in order for us to get Social Security. Our employers are taxed in order for us to get Social Security. So when I say it's an earned benefit, we all, the American people, pay for it each and every paycheck. Yes, but it's more than our money. It is a way that we then say, and the government of the United States then says, that you're not going to be destitute in your retirement. You're not going to be destitute in your old age. You're not going to be destitute if you are disabled. And in fact, the reason we were able to change WEP and GPO this December and January was for that same reason. So why is it that this administration, who says that they believe in people and workers, have the audacity to say that they don't want to tax Social Security benefits, then do everything in their power by a million cuts to try to undermine this system and undermine retiree Social Security. And that is dead wrong. And that is who they are giving, that is who they are proposing to be commissioner. Somebody who will do that. Think about what they've done already. First, they said, we're getting rid of offices. Then they said, you have to come in instead of using a website. Then they changed their mind. Then they made the phone calls not work. Then they started moving people off, pretending that people were dead, people they didn't want to pay Social Security to. This is the acts of an authoritarian. This is not the acts of a government that has a social covenant with its people. So that's why we're all here today and every day in front of offices, in town halls, to basically say, look at these folks. These are the shoulders on which we succeed as Americans. We must make sure that social covenant that we have with them, which is Social Security and Medicare, that is sacrosanct. And we will fight each and every day, not only to